Let's take a look at the example of implementing common tasks such as updating profile information, updating password, confirming password, as well as deleting accounts. And for all these features, we're going to use Laravel Fortify package. So we'll start with adding a couple of fields to update username as well as email in here. So I'm going to switch over to the template which corresponds to the login page, since this page already has most of the markup that we are going to need for profile page. I'm going to copy this whole markup and replace existing markup inside the profile.blade.php file with a new one. Next, let's update this page heading on profile. Then down here, we're going to remove this additional link. Keep only the button to submit this form. We don't need these two classes, let's remove those. The button to submit this form will say save. We also don't need remember me checkbox. I'm gonna remove it. And instead of using password field in this form, we will have to add name field. So I'm gonna remove password field, open up register view, copy the name field from here and paste it right before an email field on the profile page. And also to shift save button to the very right of its parent container, I'm going to use justify end class instead of justify between. And now let's check out what we got in the browser. We got such form with couple of fields, name and email, and it will be enough to update profile information. Laravel Fortify already provides us with a route that we can use to handle this form submission. Let's open up terminal and filter all the routes by the profile name. We got two routes. We need second one in this case with the name user profile information dot update. So I'm going to specify this route name as a handler for this profile form. And one more thing, this endpoint expects us to use put HTTP method, and to specify this method, we're going to use method blade directive and specify which method we want to use in this case, method put. So if we'll take a look in the browser, which markup has been generated by using method blade directive, we're going to see this input of type hidden with the name method. This way we are telling Laravel that this form has to be handled by the route which uses put method. Alright, cool. Now let's take a look at the action which will handle this route submission. And this action is called update user profile information, which is located inside of actions folder. Right here, as you can see, the first step is the validation. We have to pass name and email fields that will be eventually validated. And if validation is passed, we have another if where we are checking if email was updated. And at the same time, if user element model implements must verify email interface, in this case, we're going to submit email verification link to the user mail. Otherwise, we will just update username and save updated user model to the database. Alright, let's also take the implementation of the update verified user method. Right here, we're basically doing the same thing, which is updating some of the user attributes, including email verified at. In this case, we have to reset this attribute. And besides that, we are firing this call send email verification notification, which is responsible for sending new email verification link to the user. And just to be able to test this backend validation, I'm going to remove required attributes from these fields, as well as make the email field simple text input to bypass browser validation. So now I'll switch over to the browser and we'll submit this form while having all the fields empty. Looks like nothing has happened, but in fact, if we'll take a look inside the update user profile information action, here we're saying that this validation statement also has validate with back method call, where we specify particular back where all validation errors are gathered. This validation bags is another feature of Laravel, and they are mainly used to categorize validation errors. For example, if we're going to have more than one form on the same page, then we can put validation errors that belong to particular forms into its own bags. And so in order to get validation error from the particular bag, we also have to specify it as a second argument. When using this error directive, I'm going to use update profile information error bag name in here, as well as right here. And now if I'll submit this form once again, sure enough, I'm going to see validation errors under each input field. Alright, let's get back those required attributes and put those on each field. And just to have those fields filled in with current user data, I'm going to reference user method on the object returned by auth function. This way we're getting the model of the authenticated user, and we can fetch current username by referencing name field like so. And then I'm going to take this whole expression and reference it right here, but in this case we need to read user email. So this way we have specified which default values have to be used in those input fields if the user hasn't entered anything yet. So let's finally try to update user information. I'm going to specify a different name and submit this form. We're seeing some status message in here, and also in the database, after I refresh the view, we're seeing that the name has been updated. So now, just to have more readable message instead of this key, I'm going to go back to the editor, and instead of using session directive right here, let's use basic if directive and check if status session variable exists and equals to profile information updated. We're going to show more readable message to the user saying that your profile information has been updated. And if this time we're going to update profile information, sure enough, we'll see our updated message, your profile has been updated. But if besides updating username, we're also going to update user email, in this case, we're about to get new email verification link inside user sandbox. And just because currently this profile page is protected by verified middleware, which require users to verify their email addresses, we're seeing such page. So before accessing profile page, we are required to verify our email first. And also email verified at attribute has been reset inside the database. So let's go ahead and verify user mail. I can also click this button to send another email verification link. Let's open up Sandbox, find the latest email, and press Verify Address button. So everything went well, our email has been verified, and the verification date has been saved into email verified at column of the user record, and we can access profile page again. Alright, before wrapping up, let's just update type of an email field. I will use email, and also we have to use proper error bag whenever we're using error directive in a couple more places. Right here, I'm gonna specify error bag name. And one more time in here, these error directives are used to specify proper border color for fields. Whenever there is an error, we're using a red color, otherwise we're using light gray color for field border. And that's about it. Link to source code of this lesson will be in the video description.